Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
That's brand new Doro Pesch from her latest release called Fear No Evil, and that's called Running from the Devil. And Doro is running from the devil into the arms of the Classic Metal Show once again. And welcome back to the Classic Metal Show, Doro. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and yeah, that was one of my favorite tunes of the new album, so yeah.
Well, there's no way people can get that tune Running from the Devil mixed up with Van Halen's Running with the Devil. It's actually a heavier tune than that. You went very bass heavy on that song.
Yeah, and I wrote this song together with a very good friend of mine, Andreas Brun. He's the ex-guitar player of Sisters of Mercy, and we always come up with cool riffs and nice ideas, and we did actually a couple of songs for this album, and Running from the Devil is definitely one of my favorites. And
Well, Doro, I have to ask you, you've been doing this, you've been in the music business for over 25 years now, and you're still putting out quality product, and your formula doesn't change a whole lot. You go for the hard melodic rock, which obviously that's your vocal style, and that's our favorite style here on the Classic Metal Show. But what I got to ask you, Doro, is with all the changes in the music industry and with digital downloads and stuff, is it still lucrative for you to be making CDs?
Oh, actually, I mean, it's not anymore like the 80s, but it's still okay, and it's still good, and and I love music so much, so I always give it my all, and it doesn't matter. I'm not anymore looking for a top 10 hit record. It's I just hope that the fans love it, and it's definitely much different from the 80s, but actually touring is pretty good. And we usually concentrate more on live concerts and touring. And I still take 1.5 years in the studio to make a record, but it's definitely not anymore like it used to be. And all the record companies I have been with, they don't even exist anymore. So it's the last my last record company on the Warrior Soul album. It doesn't exist anymore here. In Europe, most of the companies don't exist anymore. It's unbelievable. It's definitely a very big change. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, do you embrace the whole iTunes digital downloading to sell your music like that? Do you like that format, or do you prefer the in your hands CD with the artwork and everything? Because you always have great artwork with your CDs.
Yeah. Actually, I prefer CDs, and I love vinyl. I love artwork stuff, and I definitely prefer it. But you have to go with the times. So anything what gets the music to the people, that's cool with me. And but I'm a little bit more old school, and I like to have something in my hand. And the artwork of the Fear No Evil was done by my favorite painter, Jeffrey Gillespie. Again, he was the one who did all the album covers, all the paintings, like the Triumph and Agony album cover, and I still love it when it looks great, and when it has this expensive feel, and when it's a piece of art. I definitely like that.
Sure. Well, Doro, being that your artist always paints such lush paintings of you on the cover, do you actually have a physical copy of the painting that he does? Do you have a collection of his paintings, or are they just prints, or what? Do you ever get an actual painting?
Actually, I never got the real one, because in the early days it was always paid by the record company, so they got it. And then sometimes the painter, he keeps his paintings for himself, but I don't have the originals, and yeah, I wish I would, but yeah, but it never got to that. But I'm so glad that I have them on the CDs or on the vinyl or on the picture disc. Actually, this new album, it has a beautiful picture disc, so that's good enough for me. But the originals, no, I never did.
So you basically don't have a big room like Gene Simmons does with all the Doro paintings and memorabilia in there, huh?
Yeah, no, actually the whole apartments are filled with stuff, like actually gifts from fans and paintings from fans and all kinds of beautiful things. And yeah, the whole apartment is looking like that. It's like, yeah, but yeah, it's filled with love and good stuff. And yeah.
Well, Doro, you've been doing this for quite a long time, and what is it? How do you feel when people, call you the reigning metal queen? I'm sure you've heard that many times in your career. What's your thoughts on that when people say, "Oh, it's Doro, the metal queen"? I mean, do you look at that as an honor, or is that just something that embarrasses you, or do you just like accept it and in a humble way, or what do you how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think the last thing you just said, I think it's nice when people have good things to say, and when it's meant in a good way, I'm so happy, and I deeply appreciate it, and I just always try to do my best and hope that people like it. And yeah, and when people say, yeah, that's the queen of metal, and I know it's meant well, and but anything will do, anything positive.
Sure.
That's cool, yeah.
Well, being that even I consider you the metal queen, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. What is your thoughts on this new breed of female front women, kind of like Maria from the band In This Moment, or the girl from Arch Enemy, where they're just screamers? I mean, what do you think of that?
Oh, actually, I think we have wonderful female vocalists and female musicians, and actually I love them. I think they have all tremendous voices, tremendous talents, and I think everybody has a unique style, and I'm a big fan, especially of Angela from Arch Enemy, or Tarja, or Flor Jansen, Christina from Lacuna Coil. I have a whole I'm a big fan of many females, and I think it's great. In the 80s, yeah, we weren't so many, and now there are many great women out there, and I think that makes women look good, and it's very dignified, very powerful, and I think it's very good.
Well,
I like it. Actually, we play a couple of festivals, like the Female Voices Festival here in Belgium and in Europe, and it's actually pretty big, and I always thought that would be a nice idea for the States too, and yeah.
So what do you think of that style, though, that just outright screaming style, like a Phil Anselmo from Pantera, having that kind of a singing style where they're just screaming and shrieking? What do you think of that?
Actually, I think, for example, Angela from Arch Enemy or Sabina from Holy Moses, I think they do it so well, and I think that's awesome. And I'm actually, we played together a couple of times on a festival. At first, I didn't even know that Angela was a girl, and then I saw her, and I thought, wow, she's doing a great job.
Sure.
So, yeah, it depends how it's delivered. When it's done right, and I think it's great. And yeah, and I think especially her, yeah, man, she got it down. I love it, and I'm actually I love all kinds of greatness. It can be very melodic, or from gothic, or to death and thrash metal. I like it all, and it's not that I only prefer the traditional metal or hard rock way, and yeah, and especially Angela, I think she's very cool.
Sure. Well, one of our favorite vocalists here on the Classic Metal Show, and actually a friend of the show, is Veronica Freeman from the band Benedictum. I know she's played some shows with you, and I know she looks up to you quite a bit. So what do you think of her? She's kind of in the middle there. She does some screaming, but yet she still does some melodic singing, more in your style. So what's your...
I think she's awesome. I enjoyed it so much, when we were on tour together on the last tour, and man, I think she has one of the greatest voices I mean, of all times. Tremendously powerful, very soulful, and I think she's awesome, really, really awesome. And on this one song, on the Fear No Evil album, it's called Celebrate. They're all like the greatest metal voices on it, like Veronica's on it, and Angela, and Flor Jansen, and the Girls of Girls School, and Liz from Leaves Eyes, and everybody's on there. So it's a good mix between, like all kinds of metal genres and like great people, and Veronica's on there too, and it was so exciting to have like, great singers on there, and we have actually a single out. There's like the full metal female version on it, which I love so much, and then there's a version with Biff from Saxon and another version with the Fans, and on the normal album there's like a version with everybody, and so I'm a big fan of great singers in general. Mm-hmm.
So does it make you proud to be kind of considered the godmother of all these female front women?
Oh, really? Oh, I mean, on one hand it's great to hear when people say, hey, we watched the All We Are video, and then we formed a band, or it was like a big inspiration. Yeah, sometimes that feels really good, and as long as it's like inspiring and motivating, and
sure.
I think it's very nice. Yeah.
Well, Doro, you seem to be busier now here in the last couple of years than you have in a good portion of your career. Every time I read the music news, you're out there touring and playing a festival, and playing around Europe and putting out CDs and filming DVDs and having special shows. And do you feel you're busier now than you ever have been?
Yeah, definitely, and we just got off the road. Like we played in Spain, and England, Germany, and Russia, and then I just got back, and now on Monday we leave for China for the second time. Last time we went to China in November last year, and now we're going back, and then we're coming back to the States in September, and I'm so excited to play there again. And like actually live, it's like non-stop, and there's hardly a day off, and it's but it's good to be busy. That's always a good sign, and I love it so much to see the fans, and playing live. It's like what I love the most. Like doing records and writing songs is great, but playing live, there's nothing like it. So I definitely love to be busy, but sometimes it's hard, man. I tell you, like with all like the jet lag and the traveling, and then like almost like no sleep, and usually I'm always sick on the road. Like every time after a couple of weeks I get so sick, and then you can never cancel a show because you have a cold. We never did, but it's sometimes hard, and but then I always think, man, it's every day is a new challenge, and you gotta give it your all, and then I'm so glad when the things went well, and so far all the gigs have been so great, and and then we always play like 2.5 hours because we have so much material and so many records, and in the encores I usually ask the fans what kind of songs they want to hear, and sometimes it takes up to 3 hours.
Nice.
So it's always like full hardcore and full blast. And,
well, what is the reaction of the Chinese fans to your music? I mean, are they English speaking there? Or do you find very many English speaking Chinese, or how do they interpret your music over there?
Yeah, actually, I must say they were so very well prepared, and actually they had like huge promotion. Like they have something like MTV there, and so we were like pretty much known, and then they have like a little screen behind the stage, and then they translated every song and every lyric, and actually they were really into it, and they were all trying to sing along, and it was so exciting. It was so different, but it was great. And there were like, the first time we played, there were like 25,000 people there, like, and I thought maybe a couple of hundred people would show up, but 25,000 immediately, and it's fantastic. But they definitely don't speak English or German, just here and there a little bit, but it's hard to get around. Like it's hard when you get into a taxi and you tell them where to go. If you don't have it written down by a Chinese person, that can be pretty interesting. So
sure.
So I think, maybe like 20% of the people speak a little bit of English, but not so much, no.
Right. Well, Doro, there was a long time there where you hadn't played in the States. There, it had, several years had gone by, and then in the last 2 years or 2 or 3 years, you've been able to play the States a couple of times. Do a couple tours through the States the last couple of years. How has the reaction been here in the States to what we consider classic or traditional metal? The shows that you put on, are you playing to pretty good sized crowds here in the States, or are they mostly club shows, or what?
Yeah, actually, it was like, usually the size of like nice clubs, and it was awesome. I must say, the American fans, I love them so much, and it was every time it was so great, and we are definitely doing it in September again, and I think it was unbelievable, and especially like playing like New York and LA and like, places I've been playing like in the 80s. That's like so great. And I think there are a lot of like diehard metal fans out there in the States. It's just like, sometimes the media doesn't make it look that way, but it really is. And like the fan base is really going strong, and and the concerts were awesome. Like everybody who was there would probably agree that it was like, total highlight, and I'm so psyched to come back again, and in the last couple of years it was actually pretty good. And next year we want to play all the festivals, but this year we want to do some single shows in September, and the fans, they're always like so how can I say it, like so so loving, and and they sometimes travel like 10 hours by car, and it's unbelievable. Some people, they fly to all kinds of concerts, and it's really it's hardcore, and I love that. And then I always can sing much better, and I can perform much better when I feel the people are into it, and and I treat every gig like it could be the last, no matter what. And it was definitely one of the best experiences, especially the last tour. And
Well, Doro, I know you play a lot of shows over in the European markets. Is heavy metal, classic, traditional metal still pretty strong over there?
Yeah, extremely strong. Yeah, definitely. Like, we just did a tour with Saxon in England. Went to Spain on our own, and did some gigs in Germany and in Russia, and it was great. Like, and usually it was sold out. And now the summer season, they have like so many festivals here in Europe, which is like much more than in the States, and it's like wonderful. Like Wacken, we played this year again, and it's sold out. It was, I think, sold out 6 months ago. So metal is definitely strong. Like, I think almost stronger than in the 80s. It's really strong, and
Well, what are your thoughts here in the U.S. with all these festival type things popping up, like Rocklahoma and Rock Gone Wild and Rock on the Bayou, and these 2 and 3 day festivals that are similar to what's going on over there in Europe? Is that encouraging to you?
Totally, and I would love to play next year, like definitely, and I love it. I love playing festival in general, and I think that's great, and I'm so happy that there are more and more festivals coming up in the States, and next year we're planning to spend the whole summer in the States, and I think it's wonderful, and here in Europe you have like big festivals like Wacken or Rock im Park, Rock am See. It's great. You can definitely spend like your whole vacation like seeing concerts like every day, and,
Nice.
and the lineups are always awesome too. Like it's like So if somebody ever wants to take a little trip to Europe, definitely the festival season is the way to go. And
Sure. Well, Doro, let's get into your newest release here, Fear No Evil. What is it about this record that stands out for you? I mean, what's one of your favorite highlights here? I know you mentioned the fact that you had some collaboration on the song Celebrate. Did you do any? Did you take a different approach with this release? Because listening to the CD, this is pretty much a straight up Doro release, which is what the fans enjoy and can expect from you. But is there something different about this release that you personally enjoy the most?
Yeah, actually, I love every single song for a different reason, and I think I wanted to make a record which pretty much would sum up all the last 25 years, like from super hardcore, like there are songs on it like Caught in a Battle and On the Run, which are very, very heavy, like with double bass, and then there are nice anthems like Night of the Warlock and Celebrate, and some beautiful ballads like Herzblut and Walking with the Angels, which is a duet with Tarja Turunen, the ex-singer of Nightwish, and I think it has all the ingredients, like from super hard to super like sensitive, soulful, great melodies, good anthems, and and I'm very happy how it came out. And the last song on the record is 25 Years. I think it has like a very bombastic, epic, kind of Pink Floyd-y feeling to tell the fans how much I love them and what I feel like all these 25 years. And and I think all the songs came out really nice, and I just hope that the fans love it. But I think it's a more metal record than maybe the previous records.
Sure. Now, are you still working pretty much with the same lineup in your band? Have you had any changes? I know you've had a pretty good, solid lineup, but has anything changed in your band at all?
No, actually, the bass player, Nick Douglas, he's still with us, and he's now in the band for over 20 years, and Johnny D on drums, he's with us for 15 years, Joe Taylor on guitar for 15 years, just the keyboarder. We just sometimes have, like, other people, and now we had somebody from Brooklyn, Rob Catrick, and for this tour here in Europe. And so the keyboard, second guitar player position, that sometimes changes, but because I have to support like the musicians, sometimes they want to do their solo records and stuff, and and I'm always happy when they are happy. So sometimes we have here and there a little change, but the basic lineup, like Nick and Johnny, Joe and myself, that's always the one. And
Sure, and you guys always sound solid when you play out live, as a testament on your CD or your DVDs that you've released most recently. Yeah. You've got quite a bit of product out there, Doro.
Yeah, man. The last 25 years. Actually, we just had a great concert. It was in my hometown in Germany, in Düsseldorf, and we had like the 25th anniversary, and it was like the longest show we ever did, like 3.5 hours with like great guests, like the Scorpions were there, my old band members of Warlock, so we did like a little reunion show, and Bobby Blitz, and Tarja Turunen was there, all the girls of the Full Metal female version of Celebrate, and it was awesome, and and Boldane from Nevermore was there, and it was so great, and we definitely want to release this as a DVD, maybe around Christmas, and of course my guys in the band, we were actually like having like a definitely the longest show in history we ever had, and we have so much material, it probably will take a couple of months to really weed through and see what sounds good and what looks good, but that will definitely be like one of the next projects, like another DVD.
Excellent. Well, Doro, we're always happy to have you here on the Classic Metal Show, and we're glad that you're still out there making great music and touring around the world. And the latest release from Doro is called Fear No Evil. And where can people find that, Doro?
Oh, actually, I think in all the great record stores, and of course online. I think Amazon, and it was actually one of our most successful records ever. Like, it hit the Spanish charts. The single went to number 3, and in Germany the album went to number 11 in like the regular charts with all the pop stuff, which was actually for us like unbelievable that it entered the charts so high. So it would be great if it would get good feedback in the States too.
Sure.
And, but I guess everywhere, and since they're not anymore our favorite record chains, I don't know, you probably have to search for it a little bit more, but yeah, but I guess the diehard fans, they know where to get all the good records.
Well, Doro, do you ever participate personally on the social networking sites like Facebook or MySpace? Do you ever do that personally, or do you have somebody basically running your site for you, or what?
Actually, yeah, Johnny D, our drummer, he's running it, and then we sometimes check it out together. But Johnny is definitely putting more time into it, and yeah, I'm better in talking with the fans and stuff. But I think I couldn't do it. If I would do it, like, oh God, it's sometimes so much work. Like, it is already 24 hours, so I'm glad when Johnny takes care of it. But he always tells me, when there's something important messages, and
sure,
we look at it together. But I don't personally run it, no. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, you're not much of a computer gal, huh?
I'm more old school, yeah.
Sure.
And I still write my letters by hand.
Sure.
I know it's like, but I guess even like writing lyrics or writing songs, I prefer like a piece of paper and a pen. I can think much better than when I'm on the computer. It's a different animal, and I'm more for the handmade stuff, yeah.
Right. All right, Doro. Well, again, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us here on the Classic Metal Show again. I believe this is probably your 8th or 9th time on the show in the last 14 years. So again, we always like to have you as a guest.
And thank you so much for having me and always being so nice to me and for supporting the music and metal and rock. And I deeply appreciate it, and hopefully talk to you very soon, and I'll let you know when we are on tour, like in September, but we don't have the exact dates yet. But
well, if you make a swing through the Chicago area again, I know you like to play the Pearl Room out there in Mokina.
Yeah.
So
I love that place, so I think definitely we want to come back there again. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, hopefully I'll be able to get out there and catch your show and talk to you face to face again.
Yeah, Neely, please, let's do it, and then all the best, and hey, thanks a lot, and
All right, Doro. Well, we always let our guests pick a closing song from the latest release. So, you got a song you want to end this interview with, and maybe tell us a story about it?
Yeah, actually, Neil, what do you think? More a harder song or more an anthem? What would you?
Well, our fans, they like the hardcore in your face music. So why don't you pick a faster tune?
Yeah, you know what? Then I would love to end the show with The Night of the Warlock, since it's my past and I love a little bit magic. And actually, the intro is spoken by Johnny D, our drummer, and we toned it down a little bit, and it's a nice story, and so I go for Night of the Warlock.
Excellent. All right, well, the new Doro Pesch is called Fear No Evil, and this is called Night of the Warlock, exclusively here on your Classic Metal Show. Thanks for checking out the best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
The Classic Metal Show.